Hello, welcome to Baby Boomer Tales. My name is Jim. I hope you all had a nice 4th of July. Summer's now set in pretty well. It's been hot as the dickens around here, as it has in so much of the great United States of America. I want to welcome you all, wherever you live, wherever you are. It's a privilege to spend some time with you every week. The title of today's episode is My 38 All-Time Favorite Movies. This started out as being my 25 all-time favorites, but as I was compiling a list, and it took about a year of just having movies whenever I really thought about it, I'd jot it down, eliminated a bunch, added some, and I ended up with 38. I don't think I could have gotten it down to 25, just to honor some of these things that touched me somehow, one way or the other, sentimentally, made me laugh, made me think and ponder, touched my heart and touched my soul. Movies are an amazing thing. They can take you for an hour and a half and put you in a whole nother world, then bring you back safely home. So let's start this. I have this list printed out on one page, so the printing's pretty small, so bear with me here. Let's start it out with number 38. We'll just go right on up to number 1. Number 38 is Easy Rider. It was released in 1969, had Peter Fonda and Dennis Hopper and Jack Nicholson in it. Two guys decided to ride their motorcycles from LA to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. Nicholson received an Academy Award nomination for that. Number 37, Jeremiah Johnson, 1972. Robert Redford and Will Geer, is based on the book Crow Killer, the saga of liver-eating Johnson. Well, Jeremiah was a mountain man. I used to really relate to this movie. I thought Robert Redford did a pretty good job of it. Number 36, Papillon, 1973, starring Steve McQueen and Dustin Hoffman. Papillon and his continuing escapes and being captured. Finally, they both end up on Devil's Island. It's quite the movie. Old Papillon never gave up. McQueen got a Golden Globe for Best Actor and a Drama Award for that one. Number 35, How the West Was Won, 1962. Gregory Peck, Debbie Reynolds, Jimmy Stewart, Henry Fonda, Richard Widmark, George Peppard, and many more. It is a sweeping saga, had 5 chapters of the same family from 1839 to 1889. Number 34, Little Big Man, 1970. Dustin Hoffman, Faye Dunaway, Chief Dan George. An old man tells a story of living in two worlds, the white man's and the human beings. This was a great movie. I love this. Just the things he went through. And here he is, an old man, telling some guy that's a reporter or going to write a story in some magazine or a book. Number 33, Stand By Me, 1986. Will Wheaton, River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, and Jerry O'Connell. It's based on Stephen King's 1982 novella, The Body, with a title derived from Ben E. King's song, Stand By Me. Is basically 4 12-year-old boys and their big adventure. Number 32, Dead Poets Society, 1989. Robin Williams and Ethan Hawke. The story of an English teacher who inspires the students through his teaching of poetry. This won an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. Number 31, Thelma and Louise, 1991. Susan Sarandon played Louise, and Gina Davis was Thelma. It also had Brad Pitt in it. This is the first time I ever saw him. It's about 2 best friends out for a weekend, and things somehow took a very wrong turn. Both these girls were nominated for an Oscar for Best Actress. Number 30, Hook, 1991. Robin Williams, Dustin Hoffman, and Julia Roberts. It's an update of the Peter Pan story. It was a Steven Spielberg movie. Number 29, Up, 2009. It's a Disney Pixar movie, voices of Ed Asner and Christopher Plummer. It's really the greatest, most touching love story I ever saw on film. Number 28, Romancing the Stone, 1984. Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, and Danny DeVito. It won a Golden Globe for Best Motion Picture. Old Jack, who was Michael Douglas, was an exotic bird smuggler that was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or was it the right place? Number 27, I Can Only Imagine, 2018. J. Michael Finley, Dennis Quaid, and Trace Atkins. It's a true story of Bart Millard and his life journey that led to his being a key member of the band Mercy Me. Won a Dove Award for Inspirational Film of the Year. Number 28, Dances with Wolves, 1990. Kevin Costner, Mary McDonnell, and Graham Greene. Costner was a first lieutenant in the U.S. Army, and it was at a lone outpost, and he eventually assimilates into the Lakota Sioux tribe. Number 25, Home Alone, 1990. Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, and Daniel Stern. The family goes to Paris for Christmas, and because of so many kids and family members going, they leave one behind. John Candy's entire script on this movie was improvised. My Big Fat Greek Wedding, 2002. Nia Vardalos and John Corbett. A guy meets a girl and assimilates into her Greek culture. Now, I don't like wedding movies, but I love this one. It won the People's Choice Award for Favorite Comedy in a Motion Picture. Toy Story, number 23. 1995. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. A little boy and his wonderful toys, such as Buzz Lightyear and Woody. It was nominated for an actor for Best Original Song, You Got a Friend in Me, by Randy Newman. Like old Buzz would always say, to infinity and beyond. Number 22, Mary Poppins, 1964. Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke. It won 5 Academy Awards, including Julie Andrews for Best Actress. Mr. and Mrs. Banks Need a New Nanny. The music, the animation, and live actors, it was wonderful. If you liked Mary Poppins, you ought to try watching Saving Mr. Banks. It's not a sequel, but it's a true story about the author of the book Mary Poppins. Her name was P.L. Travers. Number 21, A League of Their Own, 1992. Gina Davis, Lori Petty, and Tom Hanks. The All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. World War II threatens to shut down Major League Baseball, and so this wonderful girls' league was developed. It's all about Dottie and her little sister Kit. It's a great baseball movie. It really is. Number 20, Pursuit of Happiness, 2006. Will Smith and Jaden Smith. It's a memoir by Chris Gardner. As hard as it gets, never give up. Never ever give up. This is a wonderful movie. Number 19 on our list, Big, 1988, starring Tom Hanks, is directed by Penny Marshall. It's a whimsical fantasy of a movie where a 12-year-old boy wishes to be bigger and older. There is a great ending to this movie. Number 18, Glory, 1989. Matthew Broderick, Denzel Washington, and Morgan Freeman. Colonel Robert Shaw and his all-black 54th Massachusetts Infantry Regiment in the Civil War. Brave men in so many ways. It won 3 Oscars, including Best Supporting Actor for Washington. This is based on a true story. Number 17, Rain Man, 1988. Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman. Cruise's character learns he has an estranged brother who has savant syndrome, and their adventure together begins. Won an Oscar for Best Picture and Best Actor for Hoffman. I believe this is Dustin Hoffman's greatest role. He's in a lot of these in my list, and I could have probably put down a couple more. Dustin Hoffman apparently must be one of my favorite actors. I didn't realize it till I was putting this list together. Number 16, Christmas with the Cranks, 2004. Tim Allen, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Dan Aykroyd. This is a movie based on the novel Skipping Christmas by John Grisham. Luther and Nora plan to take a tropical vacation and skip Christmas that year. This is by far and away my favorite Christmas movie. Now, I've got several, but this one's the tops, and the only one really on the list except for Home Alone. Number 15, Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1991. Harrison Ford and Karen Allen. Indiana Jones and His Great Adventures. This one had a great opening scene. Remember, he tries to steal the thing, that rock. Anyway, directed by Steven Spielberg, won 5 Academy Awards. Number 14, Only the Brave, 2017. Josh Brolin, Jennifer Connelly, and Jeff Bridges. The Hot Shots Fire and Rescue Crew, number 7, from Prescott, Arizona. This movie shows their lives and interactions with each other. This is a must-see film. It wasn't really a big movie out there, but I'm telling you, the presentation of this movie is worth watching. If you don't watch another movie this year, I would recommend this one, Only the Brave. Number 13, Rocky, 1976. Sylvester Stallone, Talia Shire, Burgess Meredith, and Carl Weathers. Rocky Balboa meets Apollo Creed. A perfect example of the words, never give up. Won 3 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. I know I use that never give up a lot. Sometimes it's my theme, that and always be kind. Number 12, Shrek, 2001. Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and Cameron Diaz. A solitude ogre and his life in the swamp is interrupted. Join Shrek, Donkey, and Fiona in their big adventure. The Shrek movies had great music, creative ways to include old nursery rhymes and children's tales, and they have an engaging storyline. This one won an Oscar for Best Animated Feature. This is the number 1 of my animated movies. I know I have several on here. I think I really got into animated movies once I started having grandchildren. Go to the show with them or watch a video with them. This one's the tops. Sometimes I don't even think Shrek's a children's movie, actually. It's great. Number 11, Coal Miner's Daughter, 1980. Sissy Spacek and Tommy Lee Jones. It's Loretta Lynn's story. Spacek did her own vocals on Loretta's music, and she won the Oscar for Best Actress. Number 10, The Help, 2011. Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer, and Emma Stone. This is set in Jackson, Mississippi. A hometown girl and aspiring writer sets out to write a book about the area's African American maids working for white families. This won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. Octavia Spencer won that. This is a very excellent movie. Number 9, Forrest Gump, 1994. Tom Hanks, Gary Sinise, and Sally Field. In 1981, old Forrest recounts his life story to strangers who sit next to him on a bench. This won 6 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Actor for Hanks. First time I saw that puppy, I couldn't believe what I watched. It's a very excellent movie. It's kind of timeless, even though it's basically set in the 60s. Number 8, Back to the Future, 1985. Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. It's set in 1985, and old Marty somehow finds himself in 1955. Wonderful fantasy film. It's Michael J. Fox's very best, I believe. The song The Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News. It won an Oscar for sound effects editing. We all know what a DeLorean was after watching this movie. Number 7, Hoosiers, 1986. Gene Hackman, Barbara Hershey, and Dennis Hopper. The film is very loosely based on the story of the 1954 Indiana high school basketball season following Milan High School. Best basketball movie ever, period, in my opinion. Number 6, and this is the best baseball movie, in my opinion. It was always really tight for me between League of Their Own and this one. When it came down to me putting it on paper, though, The Sandlot won this one. Tom Gurry, Chauncey Leopardi, and James Earl Jones. It is one of the best baseball movies ever made. The scene where Squints jumps off the high dive at the public pool and almost drowns is worth the price of admission alone. You don't have to be a baseball fan to enjoy this movie. Rent it. Go see it. Remember old squints. Number 5, Places in the Heart, 1984. Sally Field, Danny Glover, and John Malkovich. A recent widow in 1935 Waxahachie, Texas, must somehow not lose her home and farm. This won 2 Academy Awards, including Sally Field for Best Actress. Number 4, Remember the Titans, 2000. Denzel Washington and Will Patton. A true story of a Virginia high school attempting to integrate the school and football team in 1971. The challenges were almost insurmountable for players and coaches. This is a very inspiring movie. Best football movie I've ever seen. Sorry, Rudy. Number 3, Father of the Bride, 1991. Steve Martin, Diane Keaton, and Martin Short. Daddy's Little Girl is Getting Married. It's a remake of the original 1950 movie. I watched this movie before and after my youngest daughter's wedding. It gets me every time. I used to think it was kind of just crazy and far out, but I've come to realize that it's real life, man, when your daughter gets married. Number 2, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? 2000. George Clooney, and that's the only guy I'm going to put on this. And maybe it's because, George Clooney I always thought was all right, as far as an actor. This guy, he sells it. He is this character. I'm amazed. It's set in Mississippi during the Great Depression. Great country music. The soundtrack won an Emmy. The good old Soggy Bottom Boys. Now, I'm not a big one for musicals, but this one is classified a musical, even though the music, they don't really just stop and sing and dance, okay? Although they're singing and dancing, especially those Soggy Bottom Boys. This is a great movie. Number 2 on my all-time favorites. It is a great movie. And number 1, Chariots of Fire, 1981. Ben Cross and Ian Charleston. It's a true story that follows Eric Liddell, a devout Scottish Christian missionary, and Harold Abrahams, an English Jew, and their journey towards the 1924 Olympics. This won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, from the opening where the British Olympic team are running along the beach with that Vangelis music playing, to the touching final scene. I have never seen a movie that touched me so. I can watch that every few years. There's no problem at all. And I'm one that if I watch a movie twice, that means I love the movie. And I've watched this in 6, 8, 9 times. Movies bring you to a place that's very close to a memory of real life sometimes. Not all movies. In fact, a precious few. And I'm not a big movie person. I don't go to a lot of movies. And I don't watch a lot of movies. I feel like I'm very, very selective in what I do watch. I mean, you might disagree with me after listening to my list, and that's okay. We all like different things. And this is just what I like. I hope that I may have brought some up that help you remember. Maybe talked about some that you'll be interested in watching for the first time. Thank you for coming along with me today. Kindness is everywhere. It rises to the top like cream. I'll be back next Wednesday. Peace out.